All right, friends, today we're talking about quick masks. Quick masks are a tool that I use every day on just about every image. It allows you to mask very softly, very intuitively, very gesturally, rather than making a selection with a pen tool or a lasso. I use it pretty much every image, so we'll jump right into it here. Hotkey for quick mask is Q. As you can see, when I hit Q, quick mask comes up in my channels here. It also turns whichever layer I'm working on red, okay? So when you're quick masking, it's not really going to be affecting a specific layer. You're going to be making basically a selection floating on top of everything else. So let's go through quickly the quick mask options. So if you don't hit Q and you want to do this manually by clicking the button, this is the button you're going to hit over here on the left side, okay, right there. So you can turn it off and turn it on. If you double click it, it's going to bring up your quick mask options. So the mask is indicating your selected area or your masked area, okay? So what that means is if you want to brush a part of an image and then edit that part of the image, you want it to be the selected area, not the area that's masked away from the selection, okay? So if you ever use the quick mask tool and you've brushed in and then you've come out of quick mask and everything else is selected but the thing you've selected, it's because you have masked areas indicated in your quick mask options. So I always keep mine on selected areas because it's just more intuitive to me. You can choose any color you want for your mask. Some people have it on pink. I think that used to be the default, or green. Now it's red. I leave it red. It's fine. Opacity is going to be, when you're at 100% of your quick mask, it's going to show up as a 50% opaque layer on top of your pixels, because it's, I leave mine at 50% because I want to see what I'm actually masking under, what's under my mask, rather than just completely blotting it out. So you may have a different preference for that. That's fine. I leave mine at 50%, pretty much the default. So again, we're going to hit Q to jump into our mask here. You can, again, tell that it's my background layer is turned red here, meaning that I'm working on it. So we're going to go to the brush tool here. We're just going to choose a normal brush tool. I'm working with a 2000 pixel wide brush on a 100 megapixel image. My hardness is always 0% because I don't want little outlines on the edge of my brushes. I want it to be very soft and smooth. My opacity up here is at 100%. My flow is at 30%. I've explained this before, but just in case you haven't watched every video, the difference between opacity and flow is going to be how many times you have to click the mouse. So if you click the mouse one time and you drag, you're running down 30% flow. If you drag it back over those pixels, you're going to lay down another 30%. With opacity, you click once, no matter how many times you drag over the same pixel, it's going to only lay down 30% of your opacity. If you let go of your click and then you click again, you'll start laying down the next 30%. So I keep mine on flow because, again, it's more intuitive to me. It feels like I'm shading with a pencil or a piece of charcoal or something like that. So what we're going to do first is I'll show you how to just brush in a mask and use it to make a new layer, okay? So say in this situation we want to darken this foreground hill here, okay? So I'm just going to start brushing in from the bottom, just on the hill part, okay? I'm going to hit Q again. I'm going to come out of my quick mask and it's going to leave me with this selection, okay? So if I hit Q again, I'll go right back into that mask. If I've come out and I see, oh, you know what, I missed a little part, I can add a little bit more, okay? So you can go in and out of quick mask as many times as you want and lay down more, mask, more selection. So then I'm just gonna go down here, add a new layer, a new curves layer, okay? So I can show you there, that's my mask now. It's, white only where I've drawn, which means that's going to be affected. So I can, let's say I want to darken that foreground layer. Then let's say, for the sake of the tutorial here, that I want to brighten everything behind that, okay? So we're just gonna go ahead and brush in over everything we just drew. We're just gonna, open all this foreground, okay? I'm gonna hit Q. I'm gonna come out of that, all right? And now if I hold Option and Command. Yeah, if I hold Option and Command and click on the first layer that the mask of the first curves layer that I made, it's gonna basically transect that. It's going to take that layer out of the layer I just drew, okay? So now with a few brush strokes and a quick command, look, you can see now there's my layer with the other layer taken out of it, right? So there are my two layers that I've just drawn. I can brighten this layer. Now I've created contrast, right, between my foreground hill and my my background in my foreground. So there you go. There's the two layers turned off and turned back on. Again, this isn't maybe something I would necessarily do for this image, but that's okay for the sake of the tutorial. All right, so now you've learned how to brush with a mask, and take another selection out of it. Now let's say we want to brush with a mask in a very soft and gestural way, but we want to take a geometric figure out of it, like let's say a building, right? So let's say we want to vignette this thing, but just in certain parts, right? So we're going to brush very softly here, okay? So I've brushed kind of 30%, 30%, 30%. So the upper part of my image is probably taken 60 to 90%, right? And we'll do the same on this side, all right? Okay, so now we've got a vignette, okay? But the vignette is for the sky, right? We don't necessarily want to add an artificial vignette to the building because it has, actual sunlight on it, right? So what we can do is one of two things. We can just jump out of Quick Mask and we can edit that selection, or while in Quick Mask, okay? So in Quick Mask, when you're laying down black, it's going to be laying down your Quick Mask color. When you're laying down when you're laying down white, you're going to be erasing essentially, okay? So what I could do is I could switch back to white, okay? See, now I'm drawing with white here, and I could start taking this out of here, right? But I can't be accurate enough, right? Because it's a geometric shape. So I'm just going to go ahead and go in with the polygonal lasso, okay? And wherever I know, I'm going to start a little past where I think that I've laid any mask down. I think I'm pretty sure that this corner here has taken on some of my Quick Mask, okay? So we're just going to go ahead and make a selection that's going to be used to edit our mask, which is making our new selection, okay? For the sake of tutorial, I'm not going to take out these little pegs. I don't want to waste your time here. We will take out this big spire though, because it is more substantial and sort of part of the architecture, right? Okay, I'm gonna do just a semi-quick and dirty version for you. We've almost taken out the full spire now. We're gonna head back down it, and we will essentially just pay attention to what our foreground color and our background color is, and just delete it from the selection. We could also add it to the selection if that was something we wanted to do. But okay, so now I'm here. I'm definitely clear of the part that I brushed on. So any other sort of nonsense I do with a polygonal lasso down here isn't going to make any difference. All right, so I'm just going to complete that selection. So within I'm still in Quick Mask mode, and as long as I have white as my background color here, it's gonna delete it, right? So I just hit delete and it's taken that right out of the selection, okay? So now if I hit Q, I'm gonna have a nice soft mask, but with a very precise part of the selection, right? So now if I go ahead and make a new curves layer once again, we can brush this down. We could, take our vignette down as far as we wanted to, but I might do a little vignette like that. See if luminosity is probably the way to go on that. Yeah. All right, so we've just now we can take a look at that selection. There it is, nice and soft, but with a very clean part taken out of it, right? So we could have conversely, we could have added to that selection. So let's say in this lightning move we did down here, right? If I select that, so I'm just hitting command clicking this layer to grab the selection, right? I can go back into Quick Mask, right? And now I can grab this little hoist house here. This is the Quincy Mine Hoist in Houghton, Michigan. I photographed this last year as part of an ongoing series that I was working on. And I was up there for a client, but ended up just doing this in my extra time. So there I can to show you just the reverse, right? So we're still in quick mask. We've made a selection. Black is my foreground layer, so I'm gonna hit X to reverse that. So black is my background layer. Now if I hit backspace, it's gonna take that out of my layer. We may have to then again Option Command click the or is it Option Control? What is it? Why am I having trouble here? Oh, we don't have a selection going. There we go. So I can take that out of it still, and then we can go ahead with a white brush, just start to brush this back out, go back in with a red brush, just soften this bottom part, right? So there we go. We can then delete that from our curves selection on curves 2, and now we've got, again, another polygon cut into a soft mask. So those are times I use soft mask. I will also, here, let's just grab a file quickly that has, actually I think that sort of does it. I don't think we really need to explain anything else, right? Super handy, super good tool, use it all the time. It just enables you to go in and out of selecting really quickly. It's also great if you use a Wacom pad or a tablet of some sort that you're brushing with a pen. It's a really nice tool to to get very painterly with your strokes. Yeah, I suggest you use it. It's super useful, and you'll use it all the time. Once you get into the habit, you see something, you can use it for, if you want to make a quick selection for saturation, right? So I can just select this, and then I can make a new hue saturation layer, and I can then grab this little hand here, select the reds that I want to desaturate, and I can desaturate just the reds on this part of the image, or saturate them if I want to emphasize the sunrise without turning that off and on. I'm not screwing with the reds on this, or the reds in my dogwood branches, or the reds in the bricks here. Another super useful thing about it, is that what else would I use it for? Yeah, saturation, hue, luminosity. Yeah, that's primarily what I'm using it for. So hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial about quick masking. I use it all the time, and you should too. Have a great one.